Hello everyone, this is Mark here at Garrett's Guitars in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and today's video is called Retail Apocalypse. Now, am I being over dramatic? I don't think so. Is it clickbait? I don't think so. This is real. Let's talk about it. So, I've been paying a lot of attention to brick and mortar retail because you're soaking in it. This is it. I'm living it. This is the dream. And I opened another brick and mortar store this year that sells records and used CDs. That's a little crazy too. It's just something I always wanted to do. But let's talk about how this relates to this guitar industry, but also the larger retail world in general. So let's talk about our plaza here, 800 Islington Street. You can Google it. It's real. There's 20 stores here probably. And no, maybe not that many, especially now. We've been losing stores. We lost another neighbor who's going out of business as we speak. Dogland, a dog food specialty store. We lost a cafe across the way here in the same plaza. We've lost an anchor store. Anchor stores are what we call, the big stores that get people to come and then, spend their time in the plaza and then realize, oh, there's also these little handy small businesses. The anchor store is Rite Aid. Rite Aid is closing a lot of locations. The other anchor stores that we have are a state-run liquor store, meaning the state of New Hampshire controls the sale of liquor, and they sell it in their own stores. And so that's something that will not go out of business. And there's a supermarket. And generally speaking, we're in an affluent area. Things seem to be going well in general. People seem to want to live here. People who live here seem to do well. A lot of jobs, a lot of things for people to do, a lot of, let's say, like I said, real estate has doubled in the last 5 years. Just people coming here. It's not for a lack of commerce that brick and mortar retail is suffering. And in this plaza, we also lost an educational tutoring company a little while ago, and what I can see with the transformation of this plaza, and when I was watching the transformation of this plaza, I'm looking at other similar plazas and seeing how they're operating. And it used to be in a plaza, to be in a small unit in a plaza was a good way to have a low cost place to start a small business or run a small business or have a very highly specialized business. Retail is, as you see what's going into plazas, what's flourishing, it's not necessarily retail, it's services, salons, fitness. So we have a hair salon just moved in, doing great. We have a spa next door, they're doing great. We got a fitness place over here, we got yoga over here, that's also, I'm gesturing behind the camera. And that's former fitness, and that's doing great. These businesses need to be where the people are, and we're in a downtown area, so they need to be conveniently located. And so the plaza business model works for them, but we see more and more retailers kind of giving up in this. Some I've seen, super specialty, like a paint store. They're like, well, we don't need to be in a big plaza. We don't need to be so easy to get to because our customers will come to us, usually professional painters, and they moved even further out of the center into a lower cost place. Now, the rent's too damn high is part of this. Rents for retail in this area are just pretty damn high. And this, I was talking to a commercial realtor about this, and that's what he said. It's like, yeah, and he's trying to rent places for, for clients for pretty big fees. And but it's, what the market will bear. And then we have to kind of go back and blame private equity again, because private equity is kind of always in the mix a little bit when things are not going quite well enough in certain respects. And here's what we'll say: private equity is buying up strip mall plazas. They think it's a great way to make a little bit of money. They come in, they kind of throw their weight around a little bit to get some better quality anchor stores. Maybe they raise rents, and raising rents raises income and makes their books look good. So, speaking of private equity, let's talk about Barnes and Noble. People have been pointing to Barnes and Noble as the place where things are Retail is turning around, and here's the proof. It's Barnes and Noble. And if you just look at the metrics of private equity, which owns Barnes and Noble, they love to see growth. Growth at all costs, which is also the business model of cancer. So it's not always the best thing, but no one gives you a reward for, fixing up an existing store. But if you open a new store, this makes you look great to investors, makes you look great to the markets if you're in the public markets. It's just like, hey, we've opened 100 stores this year. Wow, they must be doing well. And some of that is, Potemkin Village kind of stuff, the idea of like, just make it look right, and then kind of hope. A lot of hope involved in that too. So even though Barnes and Noble are opening new stores, even though they've gotten a new CEO who's been more focused on books and essentially turning it into the working model of an independent bookstore, letting stores choose their own inventory and their own layout. And this is what's attributed to the success of this thing. But I think it's not necessarily a trend. It's just kind of a blip that isn't the trend. And I think that they're not on a trajectory that they'd hope to be on, which they claim to want to, have 1,000 stores in 5 years or something. Nah, not in this economy, not in this climate where really what's happening is people are going to online sales, and they're going to the big consolidated stores. It used to be if you, shopping at Walmart and Target was this kind of thing that moms did for convenience because they have, kids to drag around or people with limited time. Walmart is cleaning house. They are going, they're putting their competition. They're giving, Target trouble, and they've eaten up all the little drugstores and these giant, CVS and Rite Aid here. I spoke about Rite Aid going out of business in this plaza. CVS is doing a terrible job at their services, and as soon as people will be flocking to Walmart. So, where does that leave us? Why do I call it an apocalypse? What is the future of it? Well, the future of it is, I think the Barnes and Noble. Let's go back to the Barnes and Noble. Sorry, let's go back to the Guitar. Guitar Center is heralded as the largest guitar retailer in the United States, and they are opening new stores, despite the fact they're unprofitable. Despite the fact they really haven't, I don't even know if they're officially out of bankruptcy, but they haven't become profitable out of that bankruptcy cycle. But like I said, showing new stores opening is the name of the game in retail, especially if you're a private equity that's trying to sell to another private equity company. You want to make your fat and your hog for the slaughter. So in the guitar world, we've said goodbye to a lot of guitar stores this last year, and we're going to say goodbye to more. And there's going to be a little bit more of a narrower focus in the guitar world as well. Now, we are hoping that we will be the outliers, and that's been the business model here all along. So we do things, oddly, we do things a little differently in that we don't do them differently. We give old-fashioned guitar store service, which means unlimited advice. Straightforward answers, not concentrating on necessarily making every sale every day, not increasing the volume, not increasing the number of locations, just giving service. And we made a conscientious effort to not be an online seller. People see videos, they see an ES347 from 1970 above me here in a video, and they go, oh my god, how much is that? And they go to our website and see it's $3,499. I'm like, oh, that's a great deal. I have to buy that. And they call us up and like, we're not selling this online. It's for sale in the store. Stop by. Why is that? Well, I think my bet had been that online selling is going to get eaten up, and online sellers are going to eat each other, and Amazon's going to eat everybody. And I think that's kind of coming true. Stores that were heavily reliant on online sales, other than a few exceptional exceptions, like our friends at Drum Center, they find that their profit margins are shrinking in their online sales, and their online sales are shrinking a little too. And people are kind of like, well, okay, I'll buy the thing from Amazon, or even stores that have really concentrated on selling on Reverb. Reverb was supposed to save the independent store through their ability to let independent stores compete with the big guys. Well, now Guitar Center. Whenever I do price research, I notice that Guitar Center is underselling everyone on used gear because they're not in business to be profitable. They're in business to grow. Whew. Well, that's a lot of information there. Keeping an eye out on this. I'm thinking of doing a larger, video series about this kind of retail thing, maybe for another channel or something. Maybe so. Let me know in the comments if you want to hear more about retail prognosis and the future of retail. Let me know if you want to hear less of that. Let me know whatever you want to see in these videos, because sometimes I'm just, I come to plan my video. I usually make about one a week, and I come to plan it. I'm like, what is this week's video about? Let's see what people are talking about. But this is something that's been on my mind for some time, and I've been keeping an eye out, and that's the report. Thanks for watching. Watch all the other videos here on YouTube. Subscribe. I should say that early in the video, and like and all that good stuff. And we'll talk to you soon.